So hi friends, today I'm going to show you how to send the notification from one user to another user using Kotlin language. It isn't just a simple demo of an Android app to send the notification from one user to another user. So for that, first of all, we will be requiring the following libraries, basically the following dependencies. And which dependencies are those? Those are the dependencies. These are those dependencies. This is by default every Firebase project requires to get started. This is an authentication. Yes, authentication is must because each user should have their unique user ID, unique user ID. So for that we require the authentication. Secondly, for and each user ID has their separate token. What is token? Token can be said as a MAC address, kind of work as a MAC address, individual address for each device or each login, basically not device, each login. So in that case, if the user is logged in, then he can get its own token, and the token keeps on changing as the network changes. So token is also not fixed. So we have to also take care that every time the updated token is stored in the database. So for that we require database, and of course for sending the notification we require the Firebase service. Now Firebase helps us to send the notification to the user by directly from the console, but we want the notifications to be sent from one device to another device. So in that case we required a bit intermediate library, which is we will be using retrofit for that. So these are two dependencies for those libraries, and now after adding all these dependencies, we will be further moving to the UI part. Now first of all, I will just explain what is these two files. The first file is our main activity, that is the layout. Well, let's see the layout. So this is a simple file of saying that there is a login page. Well, in my case I have already logged in, and I'm not explaining the part of login, but you have to make sure that the user has logged in. So this is the final code. I don't know why it's taking time. Okay. So till then I just show you the part. This part. This is the two text box. Basically, we can say two edit text, and these are those two edit text. Now, 1 and 2, and this is a login button. Simple. We are just taking the edit text. We are storing it. We are taking it, and we are just checking whether the user has already logged in. If logged in means if it won't return null, it will return something known as current user, which is a specific ID. If it is not null, then directly skip the login page and just go to the send notification page. Otherwise, you have to just set the listener to the login and it will just log in it. It's the simple code, and in my case I have already logged in, so it will be directly going to the second page, which is nothing but send notification. Send notification has three text boxes, which is, as you can see, first is the user ID, the text title, and the message. So as you know, the notification has the title and the message and user ID. User ID actually for this demo I am passing from the app, means I'm asking from the user itself, but in the real world or in the real scenario, the user ID is taken at the backend, taken from the backend and just passed through anonymously. So in my case, I'm just passing the user ID. In your case, you have to take it from the database. So you should know the user ID to whom you are sending. And after that, user ID, and using this user ID, we will find the token of that user. Okay. So how it works? Now, for sending the notification, we will be required these many files, one interface, and these many classes. This all combination combined together will form a pack, will work together and form and help us, basic not form, and help us to send the notification. So the first in the list of sending the notification, basically the files which helps to send the notification, the first comes the interface. What is this interface? Now, this interface is nothing but an API which will help us to connect with the server of the Firebase. So this is the header, and this says that we have to send using Firebase console messaging, and then we have to send what? We have to send a body. What is a body? I will be explaining later, but for that, in this there are two parameters. The data is sent in the JSON format. So this is the first parameter, and second parameter is the authentication key. Authentication key is nothing but the actual server key. So you have to edit this part, not this part. You don't have to edit this part, you have to edit this part. You have to add your own server key, and refer to the video where you will be finding the server key. So this is how this server key will work. Now I am just showing where you will find the server key. So go to your settings, project settings. Now in the Firebase messaging, or basically cloud messaging, you will be finding your server key. This is your server key. Just copy it and just paste it over here. Okay, replace this XXXXX with your server key. Okay, make sure you have keep the server key as it is, otherwise the demo won't work. Now second will be the basically I'm going with this part. So this will be the body part. So body part, the second will be the body part. So for that we will refer to this. Basically this is the body part. This is nothing but a constructor, basically a POJO class we can say, which has two parameters. One it takes as data object, and one it is taken to. What is to refers to? To refers to the token. So the token to whom you want to send the message. Then the token is what? Token, I have said it is earlier also that it is a unique ID behind every user ID, or unique token we can say, unique ID we can say something which identifies a user ID as uniquely, so that it won't send to any other than the logged in user. Now, so these are the two parameters, and it is wrapping the content. Okay, you know, when it comes to Java, it takes too many things. Here in our case, only single parameter, single line. If you have previously watched my video, the same thing in Java I have done, the same demo. Now, so we will see the data object. Data object consists of two things, just two things, which is nothing but, just two things, which is nothing but title and the message. Both are a string variable. Okay, we are using for that. Okay, so this will be wrapped in the form of data object. These two things will be wrapped in the form of data object, and the data object, and these two means nothing but the user ID, the token of the user ID to whom we have to send, will be wrapped in the form of object of the notification sender. Okay, so now let's go to our client. What is client? Client is nothing but we are registering the retrofit, we are initializing the retrofit object. If it is not initialized, it won't work. So we are initializing and returning. So this will be returned, and this will be stored in the service API. Okay, because service API requires a retrofit object. Basically service API is the interface, so we are initializing the object. So as you can know, this is used for static methods. Every time we don't have to call it with new keyword. Basically in this case we have to not call it by constructor, so I have written it, made it statically. So now after that we have seen this, and now this my response. Okay, I will show this my response later. Now Firebase ID. Now Firebase ID, what is this? Basically for that I will show you this part. Now for sending notification, I have kept three parts. I have shown you earlier that there were three text box, or basically three edit text, and these are those three edit text. I'm taking it. I'm just initializing a button. On button click, it should happen. But Before that, I'm just showing that what is this. I am also calling this update token. So every time the user logs in or basically opens this screen, this send notification screen, the activity loads and this will work. What will this do? This will check. Of course, this screen will be only open when the user is already logged in. So user is logged in. Yes, it is logged in. Then it will get the token using the user ID. So this is the syntax for that token, and we are getting token over here. And after that, we are just storing this in the token classes. This is nothing but a simple POJO getter setter. We can say in the language of Java, this will be work as getter setter, and we are just wrapping in the form of getter setter and a token object. Token is nothing but storing is used to store a single token. So whenever the screen is open, this will work and it will store in this format. So I will show you the database basically. Okay, so here is the one. There are two user ID. One is user ID, which is our own user ID, and then we have to just set the token. So this is the token. Okay, now after that it will keep updating, but we have to update this token at the backend. Yes, because sometimes the app is closed and the network gets changed, so it should get updated, right? So now for that we are using this service. This service will periodically check whether the token is got and it will update. But in this condition we are already logged in, because this page loads, the send notification activity loads only when the user is logged in. But in this case we don't know we are logged in, so it will first check for whether the user is logged in. After that it will update token. If not logged in, means it is null, means it is not logged in, then it won't update. So it will keep on updating periodically. Second service, this is the second service we are using. This service this service will actually keep a check that anything has been received from the user Firebase. So it will Firebase basically sends the notification in the form of data remotely. So this is the service given by the Firebase. We have to just extend that service and make our own service. And because it is Fire service, it won't stop even after the application is closed, because as we know, after Oreo, the Android has removed the service part. Basically it has service, it supports service, but it will only support until a few seconds after the app is closed. So we have to whitelist the service and create their own service. They're making that stuff. I am not using that stuff. I'm just using the Firebase service, because Firebase service is already declared as whitelist by the Android. So yeah, that will be working in the background even if the app is closed. Now we are getting the data remote message object, and we are getting the data, and we are fetching for two things. As I have told you that this will be the address, work like address, and this will be work as data. So this data will be fetched. Okay, so this is the data class, and this data class, where it gone? Okay, this data class will work. Okay, so we are getting these two fields which we have actually wrapped in the form of data object, and we are just showing the notification. Now guys, this notification is only supported, the code where you are seeing will be only supported till Oreo, right? After Oreo or later version of Oreo, after Oreo, all the later version, we have to use the code in which we have to actually register our notification with the channel ID. I am not showing this notification part because this demo is just to show the notification. It is not to show the notification on Oreo or Oreo day below. So this will in my demo I am using Lollipop, so it's working. In your demo, if you are using the version above Oreo, then make sure you make changes in this notification part, because this won't show. The message will be received, but it won't show notification, because above Oreo the notification, basically this notification compact, will have to register itself with a channel ID. You can Google it out. notification about Oreo. How to get push notification about Oreo version. You will get ample of sites which will show how to do so. This is a simple code which supports only below Oreo, but it is just to show that notification received. So I have not made any kind of big complexity. Just it's a simple code of push notification. So whenever the message will be received at the background or a app is open, it will show the notification. Now I didn't had any another drawable, so I'll just use the default drawable which is provided by Android. So sorry for that. Now okay, so I've just shown you all the classes, only this class is left. This is nothing but to store. Okay, I will be showing this later. Store the result, whether the notification is successfully sent or not. So now the whole control will be shown now properly. So I can just show this part. Okay, so as I told, on click of the send button, this will work. This will just check the token part. So it will first go to token. After that, it will take the user ID which we have passed from the edit text of user ID. Okay. After that, it will check, or basically it will come here. This is the user. Suppose I have passed this user ID, so it will check this user ID. It will get this token wala part, this token part. Okay, it will get this token part. Okay, and because this is a token and this is in the form of string, I am just passing it in the form of string, and I am storing in the variable user token. That user token is being passed here. The send notification has 3 parameters: user token, the title, and the message. So from the user ID, we are fetching the user token first, then we are sending the notification. So this is the method. This is the actual main method, we can say. Okay, main method. I'm just showing notification, this part. Okay, now this is not required. Now user token means the unique ID of that user ID, we can see as the title and the message. Now this is wrapped in the form of data object. As I have told that this will be converted to an object which will be consisting of 2 parts, the title and the message, and then data object will be again wrapped with the token in the form of object of the notification sender. Okay, that notification sender object will be passed in the parameter of this method send notification, and send notification method of API. Yes, again that before sending this API, you have to just create a variable of API service, basically object of the API service. We have to initialize with reference of the API service with the API. As I have told, it is a static method. I can directly call with the get client. We have to pass this URL. It is one time initialization per page, so it's okay. We have to create this class. It is nothing but this is the syntax of initializing the API service. Only then this will be working. So this is the notification, and this is the whole. Then this is the callback function. This callback function will actually store the result in the my response class. If the my response class is by default another than 1, then it is filled. If it is not 1, then it is filled. If it is 1, then it is successfully sent. This stores that yes, we have sent the notification from our side. This responds that notification is received from your side. And once it is stored, once it is not 1, which means it is filled. So let's run it. So in my case, I have 2 logins. As you can see, I have 2 logins over here. I have 2 logins. So the Vaibhav this email is being logged in with this ID, and this email is logged in with this ID. So I want to send the notification to this ID using this email. Okay, So from this device I want to send it this device. The user ID of this device is this. Okay, UID, you can say user ID. Okay, so I'm just passing this user ID over here, paste. Okay, I'm just passing a message, hey, and I'm just greet. I'm just sending the notification and button is pressed. Okay, the message has been sent. Okay, just showing the toast, and you can see that there is a notification over here. Okay, sorry for this download icon, I didn't have any another drawable. So similarly I'm just trying to send the notification from this device to this device. So for that I require this user ID. I'm just copying it and pasting it. I'm just saying hello, okay, anything, and just blah blah blah, and I'm just sending the notification, and I'm just trying to send. Okay, as you can see, the notification has been received. Okay, so it works, right? By the way, the code doesn't have end yet. All this won't work if we haven't registered our services in our XML. So for registering the services in our XML, this is the syntax. This is normal service. As we just register our normal service, the same we have to register these two services. They are not one service, they are two services. These two services are both helpful for us to use. One service will continuously keep on updating the token in the background, and another service will be just to check on the message. As and when the message is received, the notification will be shown. Okay, so guys, I suppose you have understood the whole concept of sending notification from one device to another using Kotlin, the Android demo. Now in this case, if you want this code, I will be uploading this code in the GitHub, so the link will be provided in the description. Also, if you want, if you find this video a bit confusing, or basically you are finding the GitHub the demo, basically this whole project a bit confusing after opening that whole folder and all, you can just view a PDF. I will be making the simpler version. Basically this whole thing which I've said will be explained in the form of PDF. There will be a PDF in that PDF there will be link of the YouTube video and also the GitHub video. So guys, do subscribe me. If you find any error, you can just contact me through my socials. My social ID will be.
So now we just get over here,
and you can just view.
it takes time.
The PDF in my description. So as you can see how to view the PDF, you can just go down. Confusing, you just click over here. Okay, in my about, I just keep everything in the end. So all tutorials and PDF I have kept in the end. So guys, there is also an app on the Play Store, which is nothing but Programming X MCQ app. So do download this app because it will help to increase your knowledge. You might not know about your own favorite languages. So of course you can test, there are multiple languages and there are multiple questions in the database. So you will face a variety of questions. Randomly you will be getting 30 questions over there. So each time you will be getting new questions, so you won't be bored solving those questions, and there is no time limit, and this is just awesome, increasing your knowledge, and this UI is user friendly. You can use this app for your gaining your knowledge. Do try this app and download this app. Thank you.